One of the most important skills that you can learn is how to build and maintain healthy relationships at work. I've seen this skill be able to fast track someone's career, fast track their personal life, help with their emotional health. It really is a skill that you can master. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 of the best practices I've seen in a corporate environment, in a startup, in a family business. It applies to every work environment. Let's talk through 3 steps to take to build healthy relationships, to maintain these relationships. Number 1, building rapport. Always remember that in order to build a relationship, there has to be some rapport that's built. And what does that mean exactly? To build rapport. It could be so basic in the beginning as to communicating with someone else by using their first name. Meaning, you're not just saying, hey, how are you? Hi, how are you doing today? You are saying, hey, Jeff. Hey, Emily, how are you today? And using a personalized item about them. Everyone has a name and everyone likes to be referred to by their name. It is more of that connection. When you refer to someone by their name, they're going to feel more connected with you. You are using their personalized name. And that is what it takes to build rapport. Being more personalized, not being so general. And now this is just basic. Let's get into more of the depth of rapport. Taking it a step further, building rapport can be where you identify a commonality with the person you are trying to build a relationship with. This could be if you have a same passion for sports, for food, for beauty, for a specific place that you go on vacation to. Maybe it's even your family. You both hold similar values. You can build on that when you're building a relationship. You can leverage the commonality to start building a deeper relationship. This might not come at first. You might learn these things as you get to know a person. Building a relationship is not just a one-step process. It's multiple steps that lead to a successful relationship. And of course, one of them is that commonality, really being engaged with the person with a similar interest, similar passion, a similar liking to something specific. Now, in order to identify these commonalities between you and this other person, it requires you to be aware, to listen, to sometimes take a step back and not talk about yourself. There will always be an opportunity to talk about yourself and what you like, what you enjoy. But maybe if you hear that they are trying to explain to you, trying to reveal to you something so important, one of their passions, one of their interests, that you don't interrupt them while they are speaking. Because if you're looking to build a relationship with someone, the ability to listen closely, attentively, and then effectively communicate after they are done speaking. So that way you don't take away from what they are sharing and what they are revealing to you. Especially if they're so passionate, they could talk on and on. Allow them to do a little bit of talking, and then you can start to build on that commonality and reveal these similarities that you both have together. I'll tell you a quick story. Let me know if you relate to this. I'm in the workplace, in the corporate world a few years back, and I am paying attention to what's happening in the office Monday morning during football season and the conversations that are happening. They just consistently happen every Monday morning. So what I did was I took advantage that I had a commonality with certain people in the office about their passion for football and their passion for certain teams. Might not have been my team, but rival teams especially. I paid close attention as I was starting this new role, yet didn't know many people. I'm like, you know what? Next time, the next Monday that comes up, I'm going to just come up and start talking about something. Just given I do pay close attention to the details, who wins, who loses, what plays could have been maybe mishandled, what was the score of the game, who should have really won. I wanted to bring my own perspective to this conversation, not just join, but I wanted to speak up and mention something so that way I can build rapport. So that way they can be aware that we have a commonality. So next Monday I come in, and this was a pretty higher level executive. Everyone is around his office. I just mentioned, hey, sorry that the Giants lost by 1 point. And they all started laughing. They weren't very happy. But at minimum, they knew that I was paying attention to something that was important to them, their passion for football, their passion for the New York Giants that I hate. But it really does help to be aware and to step in on a conversation, especially if it's relevant. What you're saying is relevant to the discussion. Take advantage of that and be aware of the surroundings in your workplace when you are building rapport. Comment below if this has ever happened to you in the workplace where you identified a commonality just by hearing conversations at work. Other items to keep in mind when you're building rapport: pay attention to your gestures. If someone crosses their hands or they leave them to the side, it's always great not to come in closed, because when you close your arms, it doesn't show that you're so open. Now, if they are doing it, you're now building that rapport and matching their gestures. Pay attention. Are they the smiley type? Are they always smiling? Try to smile a little bit more. If they are more straight-faced, maybe try not to smile as much, even if you're extra super bubbly. You might want to match their tone. Match their tone in gestures, match their tone in voice, and just match their tone in energy level. You don't have to be someone you are not, but if you tweak your energy, your tone, your voice, it can definitely help to build more rapport. Because, for example, if someone comes in all high energy and the other person is more, reserved, they don't feel comfortable acting like that, maybe just tone down the energy a bit. You don't have to be someone you're not. I never suggest that, but I do suggest tailoring just a little to the person. If you have to take it down a notch, do that work. Do that extra work to build rapport, especially if it's someone you would love to build a long relationship with. That little effort in just matching their energy, matching their tone will go a long way. The second part about building and maintaining relationships is the ability to establish trust. A relationship cannot grow without trust. It cannot flourish. It can stay only surface level. But if you want a deeper, long-lasting relationship, you have to build the trust. And let's walk through how that's established and how that's maintained in a healthy relationship. With building trust comes the ability to remember certain items that are very important to this person that you're trying to build a relationship with. Don't forget conversations you've had, because this might come up again in another conversation. Don't forget what is important to them. If you need to, and I do this a lot, I have an iPhone, I'll take down my notes app and I will write down some details. If I just come across someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget this detail about this person, but I know that this is important to them. Let me make sure I document it. You might always feel like, yes, I'm going to remember everything that is important to someone, or I'm going to remember all these details. I have multiple conversations a day and I'm going to just remember everything. That does not happen. And you don't want to have to remember. Document what you can remember. Other items to keep in mind when you are building trust: keep your word. If you mention you are going to do something, do it, or don't mention it at all. If you feel you cannot live up to the standard of what you're saying, do not say it at all, because that will lose trust very, very quickly. Don't overcommit to what you're going to do for this person. Don't overcommit anything. If anything, undercommit, overdeliver. That should be the motto for you in order to build a relationship. You don't want to lose trust in this area. It could be so easily broken, all of the months and years of putting in such hard work to build and maintain a relationship at work. And then all of a sudden, you're not keeping your word on certain things. You're overcommitting, under-delivering. Just keep in mind that what you say, what comes out of your mouth, what you communicate is heard by someone else, is heard by the other side. And they're going to hold your word and they're going to see, will you deliver? Can we trust you? Can I trust you? I can trust you if you keep your word. I cannot trust you, and trust is broken when you don't keep your word, especially if you don't keep your word multiple times. Do you want to get deeper? Let's get deeper. This last step in building and maintaining a healthy relationship at work involves the ability to add value. And to add value when it's not expected. Now, at work, you're expected to do a certain amount of tasks. You're expected to act in the capacity of, for example, finance manager and take on analytical procedures, month-end close. You have a certain amount of responsibilities throughout the year, throughout the month, throughout the quarter that you are adding value to the organization. That is great. And building trust within your role, of course, is great. Keeping your word, that helps build relationships. But you're going to take it a step further if you want to build deeper relationships and build deeper relationships faster. You are going to be more proactive and you're going to raise your hand and say, can I help with anything else? What can I help you with? What are you struggling with? I have some more time today that I can commit to another task. I can commit to helping you with something else that might be taking you a lot of time. When you extend yourself in this manner, you are building a different type of relationship. You're not just surface level anymore. You are at a higher level, deeper level with this person. You're helping them more. You're relieving stress. You might be relieving anxiety, relieving depression for this person because maybe they have so much they have to get done and not enough time, not enough energy, yet you come in and you save the day by just being kind, extending a gesture that helps them, that helps the whole organization. And guess what? People will know that you are raising your hand, that you're going and asking, you're being proactive. I'll tell you a quick story. This happened to me in the corporate world. There were many times where I would be super efficient with certain tasks and finish my work for the day, and I could just do nothing for the entire remainder of the day. Instead, I took it upon myself and I started going from office to office, from little cubicles, asking people how their day's going, and then just saying, hey, can I help with anything? I have some time. I have 2 hours, and I would love to help you if you need help with anything. And I didn't just do this one time. I did it multiple times. I did it to the point where everyone knew that Rita can possibly help us. She might have extra time because she's consistently always asked if she could help with anything. Well, now they're going to identify you as a person for a new exciting project or a promotion or a different opportunity that you didn't even think through. When you are proactive and you're using your mouth, communicating that you would love to help, you would love to lessen the burden on someone else's plate in the workplace, people will know and they will find out. And you will be looked at as a trusted person. And inherently, you'll build relationships with those that didn't even know you. They're just going to say, hey, I heard that you helped with this project. Thank you so much. They're going to remember your name and you're going to build a deeper relationship just by being proactive, raising your hand, being that great professional. And what happened for me here was I built a relationship with high-level executives from just being proactive, adding more value than expected, and building relationships at the lower level as well within the team. So it was consistent among lower level and higher level. And that ultimately led to my raise for the year being above average, being at the highest end of the salary increases. And this is all because I had extra time. I wanted to use it more wisely. I wanted to add more value. And in turn, it worked in my benefit. So things were reciprocated in my favor because I was bringing a positive outcome to the team. And so what happened in turn was I received a positive outcome in my annual increase for the year. So the key to building healthy relationships and maintaining them at work is to first build rapport, second, establish trust, and third, most important for the deep relationships, is to add value when not expected, when no one's watching, when no one is looking for it. And that's what will lead to the highest level of success in your relationships.